windows down, hear the motor blasting. All the kids out on the streets, red and white and blue, popsicles, mountains in the background, so damn classic. Classic.
Welcome back to your local news radio station where you get all the latest topics, traffic updates, weather updates, and your breaking news. This just in. The third estate is now upset because they are now taxed. More on this topic is Sully.
Thank you for the introduction, Zeke. So, the third estate is upset because they were heavily taxed from the government. 82 to 88% were peasant people. They had to work in poor periods and was pushed on the brink of starvation. It was really hard for them. There were other members of the third estate. They were called the urban commoners. The urban commoners lived in 9 different cities in France, with a population exceeding over 50,000 people. Paris had over 50,000 people. They had 650,000 people living in it. The lives of the urban workers were harder in the 1780s because the Parisian workers toiled for wages to rise up. The skilled workers got 30 to 60 sous a day, and the unskilled workers got 15 to 20 sous a day. The wages rose up to 20 cents over the last 25 years before 1789. The low pay and the high food prices were compounded by the poor living conditions in France, which made it really hard for them to live.
Thank you, Sully. And for the next topic, which is not so breaking, but still very interesting, and the new estate general and what is going on there currently. More on this topic is Chase Rhodes.
All right. Thank you, Zeke, for the introduction. So, we have this just in. Louis XVI has called a meeting of the Estates General at Versailles, France. I'm being told that the first and second estates have about 300 representatives each, while the third estate has almost 600 representatives. I'm hearing that the third estate wants to keep up a constitutional government that would make everyone, including the first and second estate, pay taxes. There are currently arguments about how this estate should vote. Traditionally, each state gets one vote, meaning that the first and second estates could outvote the third estate always 2-1. I'm just now being told that the third estate is now declaring, instead of each estate having one singular vote, that each deputy had a vote under this new system. This way, the third estate could win a majority vote with the help of a few kind nobles and clerics. The third estate declared that a national assembly needed to be held and that they would draft a constitution, but when the deputies arrived, the doors to their meeting place have been locked. They moved their meeting to an indoor tennis court nearby, and they started creating a new constitution there. They swore an oath that they would keep the meeting until they had a new constitution, and this is being referred to as the tennis court oath currently. Thank you, Zeke.
You're welcome, Chase. Now it's time for a break. Our DJ, Slicky, will hook you up with some music and hope you guys enjoy our now break. Welcome back to your local radio station where you get all your latest updates, news, weather updates, and traffic updates. Today's weather is looking a little bit cloudy and frustrated. It's the beginning of the reign of terror. Louis the 16th is now dead, and the reign of terror has now begun. First victim, Marie Antoinette, is now dead too. She is being imprisoned, or she was imprisoned, with her child that is now separated from Louise. They took their son Louis Charles from her. He disappeared under suspicious circumstances. Then she is led off a paradise from it and not so permitted citizens to their deaths. The guillotine, which we now have, it's a new design, very nice, I would say. I saw it in use actually the other day. Is now being put to work under heavy work, let me say. Very gruesome and bloody, which I like it. The Revolutionary Tribunal ordered the execution of 2,400 people in Paris. Across France, 300,000 people are losing their lives. The terror was designed to fight the enemies of the revolution, prevent counter-revolution from gaining ground. A lot of people are rounding up not aristocrats, but ordinary people. A man and his family might go to the guillotine for something saying not agreeing with the views of the revolution, and they would be killed under the guillotine. Civil liberties are now suspended. The conversation ordered that if material or moral proof exists, identity of the evidence or witness, the latter will not be heard. This formality should be appear necessary, either discovery, accomplishments or for other important reasonings concerning the public interest. This was said by the Safety Public the other day. The promises of the Declaration of Man and Right are now forgotten. Terror is the order of the day. In the words of Robespierre, softness to traitors would destroy us all. Robespierre is the mastermind of the Reign of Terror. He is the leader of the Committee and Public Safety, an executive committee of the National Convention, and the most powerful man in French currently. He explains how terror would lead to the Republic of the Virtue in the speech to the National Convention. During the terror, the Committee of Public Safety, which Robespierre is now the highest man in charge, exercised virtual dictatorial control over French government. It eliminated its enemies to the left and to the right. Still uncertain of its position, the committee obtained Law 22, which suspends a suspect's right to the public trial and legal assistance to the jury choice over the death. The Great Terror that followed, in which 1,400 people were executed, contributing to the fall of Robespierre. The Reign of Terror is predicted to kill at least 300,000 people. 17 of those 1,000 are officially executed. Perhaps 10,000 people of those people are going to be poisoned. Up next is a topic for today, which is Napoleon's empire is about to collapse. More on this topic is Chase.
All right, thank you for putting me back on the spot. Napoleon has been making multiple mistakes in his thirst for power. Most of those mistakes were made while trying to take down Great Britain to expand the French Empire. One of the major issues being that Great Britain was where we got a lot of our resources from, because Great Britain was one of the first countries to start mass production lines for products. Regardless of Napoleon's efforts, Great Britain is continuing to smuggle in resources that they're selling in black markets, primarily around France. Another mistake he made was trying to invade Russia. Napoleon originally thought that invading Russia wouldn't take more than a couple months, so they came to fight ill-prepared. They didn't bring any winter gear into the battle, so when winter came, they started to lose troops fast due to the weather conditions. Napoleon wanted to end the battle as fast as possible because he knew that if he waited too long, the weather would surely be the end of them. So he started to advance on the Russians. He started to make them retreat, but Russia had a lot going in their favor. They ran through nearby villages and towns, stocked up on supplies and resources, and then they burned the towns and villages down so that Napoleon's army would run out of food and other valuable resources. This plan worked very well, and Napoleon had to retreat, with his military becoming weaker than ever. Once Napoleon retreated, everyone knew that his army was weak and he was on the verge of destruction. So Britain, Russia, Persia, Austria, and Sweden all joined forces and declared war against France. This led to his downfall. He was given a small pension and exiled to Elbia.
Thank you, Chase, for that topic. Next up, as a break, where we're going to be switching it off to our DJ Slicky, which is going to hook you up with some nice, chill music. Slicky, take it away. Welcome back to the local news station where we get your latest breaking news, your weather updates, and traffic updates. Today's topic, and an important topic, if I might say so myself, is Napoleon Bonaparte's new civil code and how it's going to have an impact on us and other French civilization. More on this topic is Riker.
Okay, so now we knew Napoleon's new codes were going to bring some changes, but they have influenced more than we could have guessed. The new set of laws brought civil order to our city, though the Napoleonic Code does not represent the whole of Napoleon's empire. It is being adopted in many countries occupied by the French and thus is forming the basis of the law systems of Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, along with their colonies, and Poland. I can see this code going far into our future as a country. This system is much clearer, in my opinion, as it is much easier to know what is right or wrong, rather than something being judged by one individual. Now, my thought is, what if there is a case where these sets of codes don't cover the case? Would the ruling go back to the way it was before these codes, or will they fill in the gaps of what is right and what is wrong? I guess we will have to wait and see.
Thank you, Riker, for that update on the topic. And I'm honestly scared about Napoleon's civil code. I'm wondering how it's going to impact us, but I guess we're just going to have to learn as history goes on. Next up is the traffic update with Sully. Sully?
Hey, so the traffic update. It's pretty busy out here. It's pretty busy because the four major European powers were opposing the French Empire in the Napoleonic Wars. Saw Napoleon's powers collapsing in 1814. They started planning the post-war world. The Treaty of Chaumont of March 1814 had reaffirmed decisions that would be ratified by the more important Congress of Vienna of 1814 to 15. The Congress of Vienna was the first series of international meetings that came to be known as the Concert of Europe, an attempt to forge a peaceful balance of power in Europe. The Congress of Vienna dissolved the Napoleonic world and attempted to restore the monarchies Napoleon had overthrown, ushering an era of reaction. The leaderships of Metternich, the Prime Minister of Austria, and Lord Castlereagh, the Foreign Minister of Great Britain. The Congress set up a system to preserve the peace. The Concert of Europe, the major European powers, Britain, Russia, Prussia, Austria, and France, pledged to meet regularly to resolve the differences. Representatives began coming to Vienna from all over Europe at the end of September of 1814. Europe sent their important statesmen to represent their country. Austria, Great Britain, Prussia, Russia, Sweden, Spain, and Portugal signed the Treaty of Paris with France to end the Napoleonic Wars for the first time in history.
Thank you, Sully, for the traffic. And I'll be sure to watch out for their busyness out on the roads because of that. That's it from your local news station. And watch out for the dusky and unhealthy air out there because of the weather. And watch out for those busy roads. This is us saying goodbye from your local news where you get your weather updates, breaking news, topic updates, and your traffic updates. Goodbye.